Perfectionism is the scam that protects you from success. You think perfectionism is driving you to excellence, but watch what happens when it actually protects you from shipping, feedback, and real wins. You polish for hours, then just one more pass, and boom, deadline slipped, relief hits, and the project quietly dies. That's not laziness, that's a defense move. In this video, I'll show you how perfectionism shields your identity, not your quality, and how to swap it for progress that compounds. We'll break the shame loop, install feedback-safe starts, and use a 60-second protocol to ship at 80% and iterate. By the end, you'll deliver sooner and improve faster. The identity shield, what perfectionism really protects. Here's the honest read. Perfectionism isn't a commitment to high standards, it's armor. It shields the version of you who could do great work from the moment you actually have to show it. Finishing invites judgment, raises expectations, and removes camouflage. If you've ever felt an urge to tweak fonts at 11 p.m. instead of sending, you've met the identity shield. Why does it exist? The brain prefers safety over progress. When the stakes feel personal, portfolio piece, launch, performance review, your threat system fires. Self-criticism flips on, amygdala activity rises, and attention narrows to rumination, not motion. Perfectionism slides in as a workaround. If it's not finished, it can't be rejected. On the surface, that looks like care. Underneath, it's avoidance dressed as excellence. Here's the kicker. The delay gives a brief exhale. That micro-relief is negative reinforcement. Avoiding evaluation gets rewarded, even as it steals timeline, momentum, and confidence. Repeat it, and the habit wires in. You live on potential instead of proof. Now let's connect this to fear of success. Not failure success. Success means new expectations, more scrutiny, and consistency. Maintenance anxiety kicks in. If I nail this, I have to keep nailing it. Perfectionism solves that anxiety by keeping you at the edge of done, where identity remains untarnished and untested. It's safer to be the promising one than the visible one. Here's the punchline. Perfectionism protects identity at the exact cost of outcomes. It doesn't raise quality, it delays contact with the only thing that reliably raises quality: feedback. Excellence grows through version count and learning rate, not by hiding draft zero until it's pristine. If you've ever envied creators who seem to get better every month, the secret is simple. They ship, listen, adjust, repeat. A simple frame: quality rises with 3 variables. Version count, how many cycles you complete. Learning rate, how fast you extract lessons. Feedback quality, how close the signal is to the outcome you want. Perfectionism attacks all 3. Fewer versions, slower learning, weaker signal. Momentum fractures because you optimize the pre-launch state instead of the loop. You might be thinking, but my standards matter. Good, keep them. The key is repositioning standards from gates to guides. Gates say, do not pass until flawless. Guides say, hit 80% fast, then use the next rep to raise the bar. Gates freeze, guides compound. Let's make this practical with 2 quick contrasts. Perfection shield, I can't send the proposal until every edge case is addressed. Result, 3 extra days, no feedback, rising dread. Identity safe progress, I'll send the core proposal today with 3 explicit open questions. Result, same-day signal, clearer scope, calmer nervous system. Or this one, perfection shield, this landing page needs the perfect headline. 12 iterations later, you're blind to what users actually click. Identity safe progress, I'll publish the top 2 headlines and split test for 1,000 impressions. Now the feedback writes the headline. Notice what both moves do. They relocate protection from identity to process. You're not defenseless, you're defended by speed, structure, and data. Identity remains safe because outcomes stop being verdicts on you and start being inputs for the next pass. What about the shame spike near send? Swap global for local. Critics speak in absolutes, you always blow the ending. Coaches speak in moves, right now, ship the version with note placeholders. Local language shrinks threat so prefrontal control returns. Micro story, a designer stalled on a case study for 6 weeks. Shield line, my best work needs the perfect narrative. We swapped to publish the 80% draft with 3 story gaps in brackets. She shipped that afternoon, got 2 client quotes in a day, and closed the gaps within 48 hours. Process carried the weight, not identity. If you want a sentence you can use when the shield rises, try this. Perfection protects me from judgment. Iteration protects me from mediocrity. Read it once and ask, which protection do I want right now? Most days, you'll choose iteration because it protects both outcomes and identity in the long run. 2 guardrails make that choice easier. Time box excellence. Define a hard send time for the 80% and reserve a specific later window for the polish pass. Scope your promise. Declare exactly what the version is for: decision aid, stakeholder review, A/B test, so you stop comparing it to a non-existent final. Finally, a reframe that sticks. You're not lowering standards, you're changing where standards live. They don't police the door. They refine the product once it's inside. That's how excellence scales without burning you down. In short, the identity shield is trying to help, but it's guarding the wrong thing. Let process protect your identity. Let feedback raise your quality. And let shipping be the moment your nervous system learns we're safe when seen. The hidden costs: time, money, momentum. Perfectionism doesn't show up on your invoice, but it drains the budget anyway. The first cost is time tax. Every just one more pass isn't a minute. It's context switching, respinning up attention, reopen tabs, and decision fatigue. The hour you think you spent polishing is often 2 hours of ramp, 1 hour of tweak, and 30 minutes of recovery. Multiply that by a week, and you've traded a full day you could have used to gather feedback or move the next piece forward. Now zoom out to money. In business, delay is expensive in 3 quiet ways. Missed window. Markets shift, competitors ship, ad costs change, and your perfect version launches into colder water. Opportunity cost. Teams wait on your final, so upstream work stalls or overbuilds assumptions. Rework premium. Polishing untested assumptions means you polish the wrong thing, then pay to undo it later. Leaders who push iteration get faster correction, because reality informs the product sooner than private theory can. The hidden killer is momentum. Projects don't die from one big mistake, they die from stalled starts. Every time you slip a send, you also slip the next task that depended on that signal. That creates drag on identity, too. You stop trusting yourself to finish, so your starts get heavier. The shame loop you heard earlier feeds on exactly this. Avoid, feel temporary relief, lose time, erode confidence, repeat. Momentum is a bank account. Perfectionism makes daily withdrawals and blocks deposits. There's another cost you rarely notice: feedback starvation. When you keep work private until it's ready, you eliminate the very data that would have made it ready. That forces you to simulate the audience in your head, which is why you obsess over edge cases no one will ever encounter. When signal finally arrives, it's late and expensive. Meanwhile, teams that ship the 80% gather evidence at low cost, then point standards where they matter. Quality rises because reality is in the room. Let's talk stress interest. Perfectionism compounds anxiety because the longer you hold a task, the heavier it feels. Your threat system predicts social judgment, so each day of delay spikes vigilance. That burns glucose, wrecks sleep, and lowers prefrontal control. Now even simple edits feel jagged, so you polish to calm down, which feeds the cycle. It's not you're weak. It's physiology paying interest on delay. Creativity also pays. Risk-averse perfection chokes divergent thinking. When your brain scans for mistakes, it narrows options to what's safe. Research links maladaptive perfectionism to lower risk tolerance and fewer novel ideas. Iteration flips that. Small, reversible releases lower perceived stakes, so the mind explores. Creativity thrives under frequent, bounded bets. There's a relational bill, too. Teammates start buffering around your delays. Meetings get padded, contingency plans multiply, and trust erodes. The brand you think you're protecting, I deliver premium, quietly morphs into I'm slow to ship. No one says it out loud. They simply stop routing exciting work your way because speed and learning beat polish in changing environments. Personal finance moment. If you're solo or freelance, perfectionism hides in scope creep you don't bill for. You quote 10 hours, spend 16, and tell yourself it's craft. You just discounted your rate by 40% while training the client to expect unpaid upgrades. Boundaried iteration solves this. Send versioned milestones with explicit review points. Now, extra polish is an option, not a leak. Here's the part that stings. Perfectionism feels noble while it burns cash. You're tired, so it must matter. But effort isn't evidence. Evidence is shipped outcomes, clean learnings, and momentum that carries into the next week. If you want a quick diagnostic, try this. How many finished cycles did I complete this month? Not hours in editor, not notes, not drafts, cycles completed. If that number is low, you're paying the hidden taxes. Okay, what's the alternative cost structure? You still invest, but you move spend earlier into signal gathering and later into targeted refinement. Practically, that means pre-committing to 80% deadlines, naming the decision each version needs to enable, and time-boxing polish after feedback arrives. You'll feel exposed at first. Then you'll notice how much lighter the next rep is when the world tells you what matters. Let me give you a micro story. A startup delayed a pricing test for 4 weeks to perfect the page. When they finally launched, conversions tanked not because the copy was off, but because the audience wanted annual plans, not monthly. A one-day smoke test would have surfaced that in 24 hours and saved a month of burn. They weren't measuring quality, they were protecting identity. Once they switched to weekly 80% releases with clear hypotheses, revenue climbed, debates shortened, and the team's sleep improved. Bottom line, perfectionism charges time tax, money burn, momentum drag, stress interest, creativity loss, and trust erosion. Iteration refunds them. You don't need more hours. You need cheaper cycles, faster truth, and polish placed where proof demands it. The Shame-Perfection Loop. Let's map the loop that keeps you polishing instead of shipping. It has 4 beats: trigger, spike, ritual, cost. Beat 1, the trigger. It's usually small, a comment in review, an ambiguous email from a stakeholder, a calendar reminder that a draft is due. Your brain tags it as social risk. The inner critic takes the mic. If this flops, they'll see you're not ready. That sentence isn't commentary, it's a threat cue. Heart rate nudges up. Attention narrows from what's the next move to what's wrong with me. Beat 2, the spike. Shame surges. Shame says, you are the problem, which makes action feel like exposure. Under threat, the nervous system searches for relief fast. 2 paths appear. One is approach, send the imperfect thing. The other is avoid, buy time. Perfectionism sells the avoidance as virtue. I'm not hiding, I'm raising the bar. And for a second, your chest loosens. That microlief teaches your brain a lesson, delaying works. Avoidance gets reinforced. Beat 3, the ritual. You enter the polishing trance. You rewrite the intro again, you adjust spacing. You chase edge cases the audience won't hit. It looks like work, but the function is anesthesia. The ritual keeps shame at bay while burning hours. You're not building quality through contact with reality, you're simulating reality alone. The longer you stay in the trance, the scarier send feels, so the ritual grows teeth. 1 more pass, then I'll be safe. Beat 4, the cost. Time slips. The decision the draft was supposed to unlock stalls. Identity takes a hit. Why can't I finish? That new sentence becomes the next trigger, and the loop tightens. Over days, the behavior wires in. Trigger right arrow, shame right arrow, polish right arrow, delay right arrow, self-doubt right arrow, repeat. You're not lazy. You're stuck in a relief learning cycle that rewards avoidance dressed as excellence. Now here, SY just be disciplined backfires inside this loop. Pushing harder on a nervous system in threat ramps the spike. More pressure equals more danger equals more ritual. You end up white-knuckling for an hour and then reorganizing folders because your body needs a cleaner form of relief. Willpower is the wrong tool here. Threat reduction breaks the loop, not pressure. So how do we interrupt? Hit any beat. At the trigger, change the first sentence. Right, I'm not behind, I'm in a reset. Pair it with a longer exhale to tell your body, we're safe. At the spike, swap global for local. Right now, I'm shipping the 80% for review. During the ritual, replace polish with a micro move that faces reality. Set a 60-second timer. Type open queue, where you're tempted to overwork, and send with 3 explicit questions. Is A or B closer? What's missing? Where should depth go? That flips relief from avoidance to motion. The timer teaches starts are safe and stops are respected. At the cost beat, repair identity with evidence, not pep talks. Track starts, not hours. 1 check per shipped version. 5 checks this week tells your brain, I begin. That quiets the I'm the person who can't finish story faster than another vow to try harder. Let me give you a quick micro story. A PM sat on a roadmap doc for 12 days, tinkering with color scales. Trigger, exec review invite. Spike thought, if this isn't airtight, we'll lose trust. Ritual, 6 more logic flows no one asked for. We ran a reset. She wrote, "I'm in a reset," exhaled longer, and set 60 seconds to pace the top 3 bets with open risk tags, sent with 2 questions. Response came back in 20 minutes. Bet 2 is off, double-click bet 1. Shame dropped because reality answered. The trance didn't have to. Common traps to watch: swapping polish for planning, "I'll build a better framework first," hiding behind research, "I just need 3 more sources," and upgrading scope mid-send, "Since I'm here, I'll fix the deck too." If you catch one, label it. That's the ritual. Then run the same 3-move break: reframe line, 1-minute action, explicit questions. If you remember nothing else, remember this: the loop is powered by the fastest relief available. Make motion deliver relief faster than avoidance, and perfectionism loses its fuel. Fear of success, the responsibility avalanche. Let's talk about the fear almost nobody admits: not failure, success. The moment you're close to done, your brain whispers, "If this lands, I'll have to keep delivering at this level. People will expect more." That's identity protection. Success threatens the comfortable story of "I could crush it if I wanted." Finishing replaces potential with receipts. Here's why your nervous system spikes here. Success raises 3 loads at once. First, visibility. More eyes, more opinions, more comparisons. Second, expectations. Today's win becomes tomorrow's baseline. Third, maintenance. You didn't just do a thing, you just bought a thing you have to service. Updates, customer questions, follow-ups, consistency. I call it the responsibility avalanche. Your brain predicts the weight and slams the brakes. Perfectionism becomes the shield for that avalanche. I'll tighten the draft, then ship. Translation: if I never finalize, I never trigger the avalanche. It feels safe because you control the pre-launch bubble. No deadlines multiplied. No support queue, no critics, no "now do it again." So you live at 95% complete, telling yourself you're protecting quality. Really, you're protecting capacity. Now here's the flip. The avalanche isn't just workload, it's ambiguity. You don't know exactly what success upkeep will require, so your threat system imagines the worst. That's why you start overbuilding systems you don't need yet. You design V4 architecture for a product no one has used once. You pre-answer 100 support hypotheticals instead of getting 10 real users and learning what to answer. The future feels heavy because it's vague. Vague equals danger. Let me give you a frame that lightens it. Separate spike tasks from slope tasks. Spike tasks are the one-time energy surges that unlock meaning: publish, launch, sign, send. Slope tasks are the ongoing gradients, replies, patches, cadence, refinements. Fear of success ties them together into one monster. Your job is to split them and sequence them. Ship the spike with an explicit, bounded slope plan attached. Practically, that means this: every time you're near done, add a 3-line aftercare card before you ship. Line 1, scope. If this succeeds, the slope is X minutes per day or Y hours per week for Z weeks. Line 2, guardrails. Stop conditions for reevaluation are A and B. Line 3, help. Who or what will absorb the slope if demand exceeds plan? You're teaching your nervous system that visibility doesn't equal infinity. Micro-story. A creator delayed a newsletter for months because if it grows, I'll drown in replies. We wrote an aftercare card, 15-minute inbox window, a canned thanks plus FAQ link, and a Friday batch rule for anything lengthy. She shipped. Week 1 brought 40 replies, handled inside the window. Week 4, she automated the FAQ link and added 1 office hour per month. The avalanche became a slope because it had edges. Another lever is reversible commitment. Success feels like pouring concrete. Make it wet clay. Ship with a public beta label, a 2-week review, or a cohort cap. Taking 10 clients for a 4-week pilot, then pausing to adjust. That turns forever into a sprint. The door isn't welded shut. Also, pre-decide what more means. Vague scaling equals chronic threat. Write a tiny scale ladder before launch. Step 1, solo with a template. Step 2, add an assistant 5 hours per week. Step 3, swap your DMs for a form. Step 4, set a waitlist. You don't have to climb it today. You just need to know the next rung exists. Now the identity part. Success can be disorienting because it threatens the story that effort equals worth. If results come, who are you without the grind? Anchor in values, not volume. I ship useful things weekly, not I answer everything instantly. I refine based on signal, not I never disappoint anyone. Values travel, volume breaks. Before we wrap this section, here's a 60-second drill that dissolves the spike. Whisper, I'm not committing to forever, I'm committing to a 2-week experiment. Exhale longer. Write the Aftercare card, then ship the spike. Put a calendar block for the review date right now. You'll feel the floor come back under your feet because success isn't an avalanche anymore. It's a slope you already measured. Antifragile standards, quality via iteration. Let's turn standards from porcelain to rubber. Porcelain standards shatter under contact. Rubber standards get stronger every time they hit the ground. That's what antifragile standards are, rules that improve through impact. Instead of guarding work from stress, you invite controlled stress and let it sculpt the quality you actually want. Here's the shift. Static perfection tries to pre-solve reality. Antifragile excellence expects reality to surface the right problems faster than you can. So you design for version count, not virgin purity. Quality rises with version count times learning rate times feedback quality. Antifragile standards push all 3 up and move work towards signal sooner. You'll hear people say ship at 80%. That line only works if 80% is defined, so define it. Create a definition of good enough DGE for each artifact you make. A DGE is a 3-line checklist that gates a release without demanding polish. 1, it communicates the core promise clearly. 2, it enables a specific decision or action by the recipient. 3, it includes explicit TODO or open tags where depth is deferred. That's it. DGE replaces the vague, perfect bar with a concrete, safe-to-learn bar. Next, time box excellence. Give that DGE a send time and attach a reserved polish pass after feedback. This matters. You're not banning craft, you're staging it. Most of the quality you crave comes from 5 precise touches applied to the right surface, not from 50 generic passes on the wrong one. By time-boxing pre-signal effort and scheduling post-signal refinement, you route your best attention to what reality proves important. Now the feedback side. Not all critiques are created equal. Create a feedback target map before you ship. Ask, who has proximity to the outcome I want? A customer who uses the thing trumps a colleague who imagines using it. A decision maker trumps a bystander. You can even pre-format the questions to sharpen the signal. Which of these 2 outcomes matters more? What did you expect but not see? What should we cut? The more specific the asks, the cleaner the learning rate. To bend this into habit, use release cadences. Weekly or bi-weekly cycles force scope to match time. Cadence is a standard. We always release a testable version by Friday. Within that, set a single learning objective per cycle. Too many objectives dilute signal and tempt perfection rituals. One objective concentrates effort and accelerates improvement. Let me give you a simple protocol you can steal. Call it BML+. Build a DGE-compliant version. Measure against one defined learning objective with a per-written survey or A/B. Learn by writing a 1-paragraph decision note, then plus it. Roll 1 refinement into the next build. The decision note is the glue. What did we learn? What will we change? What will we stop? Over time, that stack becomes a living standard library that gets smarter every pass. Common worry, won't we ship junk? No, if you bound the blast radius. Antifragility uses small, reversible bets, audience slices, private betas, feature flags, sample sizes, and pilot labels. You're not lowering care, you're lowering risk. Each safe bump adds information your polish can't. Here's where teams mess this up. They add feedback loops but keep shame standards. So early drafts get roasted and everyone retreats to porcelain. Fix it by setting review charter rules. Critique content, not character. Compare against the stated objective, not imagined scope. Propose a next move, not a pile of maybes. Leaders must model this. When you normalize rough to right, drafts stop being identity tests and start being instruments. A micro story. A small agency adopted DGEs and a weekly cadence for landing pages. Week 1, quality felt lower. Week 3, conversions jumped because they spent time testing hero claims, not perfecting type scale. By week 6, their polish pass shrank to 20 minutes on pages already validated by clicks. Standards didn't fall. They moved to where proof lived. If your work is long form, a report, a course, a book, chunk Antifragility. Treat each chapter or module as a complete learning loop. DGE right arrow ship to a preview cohort, extract 2 decisions, right arrow roll changes forward. Don't wait for the grand unveiling. Nothing learns in secret. 2 practical scaffolds to install tomorrow. 1, version naming. Name files by objective, not emotion. LPv3 claim test pass beats final really final. 2. Exit criteria. Define what ends a loop. When the headline beat control by 10% over 1,000 visits, lock copy and move to visuals. Clear exits prevent infinite polishing. Finally, a mantra to keep near your desk. Standards improve when they meet stress. If it never meets stress, it's not a standard, it's a story. Put the story in the world, let it get scuffed, then write the next chapter with the marks you earned. That's how quality stops being fragile and starts compounding. The 80% deadline. Finish first, improve second. Let's make 80% more than a vibe. The 80% deadline is a finish first, improve second rule with edges you can trust. It answers 3 questions up front. What is good enough for this version? When does it ship, regardless? What exact refinement happens after signal arrives? When those answers are written, your nervous system stops negotiating and your work starts learning. Here's the simple container. Before you begin, write a 1-page 80% sheet. Purpose: this version exists to enable X decision or Y action. DGE: those 3 lines you set earlier, clarity of promise, enables a decision, open tags where depth is deferred. Send time: a hard timestamp that both you and the team agree is non-negotiable. Post-signal window: a blocked slot for a targeted polish pass after feedback. Ask set: 3 specific questions you'll send with the work to concentrate the response. Exit criteria: what locks and what rolls forward when the learning objective is met. That's the backbone, now the choreography. You'll work in 3 modes: build, ship, refine. Build to the DGE, not to perfection. Ship at the deadline with your ask set attached. Refine inside the post-signal window, guided by the exit criteria. No roaming edits, no identity spirals. You're following a loop the body can trust. To keep 80% honest, run the 2 clocks rule. Clock 1 is wall time, the send timestamp. Clock 2 is scope time, the minutes you'll allow for pre-ship improvements. Set both at the start and put them visibly on your screen. When scope time hits 0, insert open tags for anything unresolved and drop it in. When wall time hits, it goes out, even if scope time remains. This cuts 2 common traps: late scope creep and endless micro-polish. What about quality floors? Use red lines, non-negotiables that protect brand and ethics without flooding you. For example, no factual errors, no broken links, no privacy leaks, no unsupported claims. Red lines are binary. If one fails at T10 minutes, fix it. Otherwise, ship and fix in the post-signal window. That keeps the 80% deadline safe without turning back into porcelain. Here's a micro play you can copy tomorrow. Call it 80, 10, 10. Allocate 80% of your pre-ship window to reaching DGE, 10% to a fast coherence pass, and 10% to formatting and link checks. At T15, stop content changes. Run a find for open and confirm they're intentional. Paste your ask set and hit send. Then take 60 seconds to log a decision hypothesis. If we learn A, we'll do B. That note becomes the bridge into refine mode. Common objections pop up fast, but stakeholders will judge the rough edges. Send a cover note that frames the version. This is a decision draft focused on X. You'll see open markers where depth is parked. Please answer the 3 questions below to aim the next pass. You've moved evaluation from personal taste to the stated objective. Another, our work is too high stakes for 80%. Cool, shrink the blast radius, not the standard. Pilot to a slice, run a feature flag, send a pre-read to a small panel, or use synthetic tests before a full release. The deadline still holds. The audience is right-sized. Let's make it tactile with examples. If you're shipping a deck, DGE says every slide communicates 1 claim, drives 1 decision, and carries open tags for detail. Send at 3 p.m. with 3 questions like, which bet do we cut? Post-signal window at 9 a.m. tomorrow to fold in the answers and lock the flow. If you're writing, DGE says the headline states the promise, the subhead sets context, and 3 subpoints carry the scaffolding. Open tags mark anecdotes still collecting. Ship with, which subpoint felt thin? What resisted belief? Where do you want a story? Refine in a 45-minute pass to strengthen exactly those spots. If you're coding, DGE says the endpoint returns correct data for the primary path, logs errors, and includes TODOs on edge handling. Ship behind a flag to a test cohort. Ask, any unexpected payloads? Latency over 200 ms? Missing fields? Refine in a tight patch window and widen exposure. Guardrails for sanity. Install a send ritual. Stand up, read your reframe line, exhale longer, paste your ask set, and click. Then step away for 2 minutes. Pair it with a no-edit cooldown. Once sent, don't touch it until feedback arrives or the polish window opens. This prevents the post-send panic spiral. Use a weekly 80% cadence. Pick one anchor day and ship at least one decision draft each week. Track a single metric, number of cycles completed. Celebrate the check, not the applause. That's how identity shifts from I almost finish to I finish and improve. Finally, give your future self a clean runway. At the end of the refine window, leave a next pass line at the top of the dock, 3 bullets you would do if given more time. That turns lingering desire into a parked plan instead of a background itch. You've honored quality without letting it hijack the loop. Finish first, improve second. Not because you don't care, but because the world will tell you exactly where care belongs. The 2-layer task, output versus ornament. Every meaningful task has 2 layers, output and ornament. Output is the substance that moves the goal, decision, shipment, booking, publish, deploy. Ornament is everything that makes it prettier, smoother, more impressive. Micro-animations, immaculate spacing, clever transitions, perfect metaphors, bespoke icons. Ornament isn't evil. It's just not the thing that changes reality. Perfectionism flips the priority, pouring hours into ornament while leaving the output late, vague, or missing. Here's the clean cut. Ask, what gets counted? If a stakeholder can make the intended decision without the extra polish, it's ornament. If the decision stalls without it, it's output. Output creates leverage, ornament creates sparkle. When you treat sparkle like leverage, your calendar fills and your pipeline empties. Let's run examples. A sales email. Output is a clear offer, a specific ask, a link or calendar button, and a deadline. Ornament is the lyrical opener, the perfect case study story, the brand perfect layout. You can close with a plain email if the offer and ask are sharp. You can't close with flawless prose and no button. A product spec. Output is the problem statement, acceptance criteria, constraints, and success metric. Ornament is the color-coded table, 3 edge case flowcharts, and 10-page context history. If engineers can build the first slice, you've got output. If they still have questions, you've got ornament posing as diligence. A landing page. Output is promise, proof, path, what it does, why to trust it, what to click. Ornament is the SVG waves and the load-in blur. Promise, proof, path can convert with a simple template if they're clear. No amount of animation converts a muddy promise. Why does this matter? Because your 80% rule depends on knowing which layer must exist before you ship. The definition of good enough you wrote earlier is basically an output checklist. It declares the minimum that enables learning or a decision, and it tags ornament as open. That simple bracket pulls you out of the perfection trance. I'm not ignoring this, I'm sequencing it. Here's a quick diagnostic you can run mid-task. Imagine the recipient pauses you and asks, "What can I do with this right now?" If your answer is, "You can choose O or B," you're working in output. If your answer is, "You'll see it's really well thought out," you're decorating. Output answers, "Now what?" Ornament answers, "Isn't it nice?" A trap to notice, ornamental urgency. That's the feeling that a surface detail is suddenly critical. We absolutely need a custom graphic for this email, or it won't land. Does it change the conversion route? If not, park it behind send. Most musts shrink when you tie them to an outcome. Will this increase replies by 10% or help us decide faster? If the answer is uncertain or negligible, it's likely ornament. Another trap, ornamental virtue. You tell yourself polish equals respect for the audience. Respect shows up first as clarity, relevance, and a clean path. Audiences prefer plain language that solves their problem over exquisite polish that obscures the ask. Respect them by getting them somewhere. Okay, how do we operationalize the 2 layers without killing craft? Use a 2-pass plan. Pass 1 delivers output to DGE and ships at the 80% deadline. Pass 2 is a bounded ornament pass only where signal demands it. If a demo schedule increases after you add testimonials, ornament became output for your niche, great, promote it. If no one mentions the missing icon set, drop it from scope. your polish budget follows the evidence. Write an output-first card before you start. Top line, output for this version is X, Y, Z, second line. Ornament candidates parked, A, B, C, third line. Trigger to upgrade ornament, metric or feedback threshold. Now polish has a job description instead of a compulsion. Micro story. A marketer spent 8 hours designing a stunning webinar slide deck. Registration lagged. She flipped to output first. Clear promise, date, CTA, FAQ, and limited seat count. She sent text-only invites. Registrations doubled by morning. She then did a 45-minute ornament pass on the confirmation email where it mattered, reminders, calendar file, and a crisp what you'll get. Output moved the metric. Ornament amplified it. One more mindset line to keep handy. Ornament amplifies, output advances. If you need advance, don't trade it for amplifiers. Ship the advance, then amplify precisely where it pays. That's how you keep standards high without letting sparkle steal your deadline. The anti-spiral script, stop the one more pass urge. Here's the playbook you run the moment your hand hovers over, just one more pass. You're not arguing with yourself for an hour. You're executing a script that flips relief from avoidance to motion in under 3 minutes. Line 1, name it. Say quietly, that's the ritual. You're labeling the perfection trance so your brain stops treating it like quality control. Line 2, reframe. I'm not behind, I'm in a reset. That moves you from verdict to action. Now breathe out longer than you inhale once. Long exhale tells your body we're safe to start. Next, open the doc and run the SOS check. Scope, output signal. Scope, read your 80% sheet and DGE, no additions allowed. Output, highlight the 3 lines that enable the decision or action you promised. Signal, paste your ask set at the top so feedback has rails. If you can't do those 3 in 60 seconds, your scope has inflated. Shrink it back to DGE before you touch a word. Now set a 60-second timer and do the 1-minute anchor. You have 3 legal moves only. Insert open, where you're tempted to polish, fix a red line violation, factual error, broken link, privacy leak, or add the send note that frames the version and asks your 3 questions. When the timer dings, hands off. Stopping teaches your nervous system that starts aren't traps. Time for the send ladder, 3 rungs you climb in order without detours. Rung 1, paste the cover note. Decision draft to enable X, you'll see open markers where depth is parked. Please answer the 3 questions below to aim the next pass. Rung 2, paste the ask set. Rung 3, add the post signal window block on your calendar. Now stand up. Say, ship the spike, review the slope, exhale once, and click send. Post send, your brain will sprint for the tab to tweak. Run the no edit cooldown. 2 minutes away from the screen. Water, hallway, 1 stretch. This interrupts the panic spiral and protects your future self from undoing the lesson you just taught your body. If you miss the window and catch yourself in the spiral mid-polish, use the 3 strikes and ship rule. Strike 1, you rewrote a sentence twice. Insert open, tighten phrasing, and step back. Strike 2, you adjusted spacing again. Set the 60-second timer and paste the ask set. Strike 3, your cursor drifts to fonts. That's the cue. Send now with the cover note, then log a decision hypothesis. If they choose A, I'll deepen B, you've turned manic polish into motion. Keep a visible anti-spiral card by your monitor. Name it, that's the ritual. Reset line plus long exhale. SOS check, scope, output, signal. 1-minute anchor, open, red line, or send note. Send ladder note asks block. No edit cooldown. 2 add-ons strengthen the script. First, the 80-20 timer split. For any remaining pre-ship time, set 2 timers, 80% to output completion, 20% to coherence and link checks. When the 80% timer ends, you cannot touch content, only coherence and links. Second, the ornament parking lot. Keep a small list titled Polish after signal with bullets like icons, micro animations, line edit. Parking reduces the urge to just finish this one little thing because it's not lost, it's sequenced. For team settings, install a review charter in your send note. Please assess against purpose and DGE, flag blockers, not tastes, propose one next move. This drains identity threat from the room and keeps feedback pointed at the target, not your worth. If a comment arrives outside charter, I just don't like this vibe, reply with, which decision does that affect? O or B, you're steering back to signal. Finally, build the anti-spiral habit with 2 weekly rituals. Monday, set your 80% deadlines and calendar the post-signal windows. Friday, count cycles shipped, not hours spent, and write one decision note. What we learned, what we changed, what we stopped. That note becomes your proof bank. The more pages it holds, the quieter the one more pass urge gets, because your identity is now grounded in finished loops, not immaculate drafts. You're not banning polish. You're preventing polish from stealing the only thing that improves polish: contact with reality. Run the script, ship the spike, review the slope, and let standards rise where proof tells them to. Cognitive automation. Rules that remove 80% of choices. Perfectionism feeds on open loops and undecided options. If every draft is a fresh judgment call, your brain burns fuel on micro-decisions that don't move the work. Cognitive automation kills that friction by installing tiny operating rules so most choices are already made. Less negotiating, more doing. Standards don't drop, they run on rails. Start with default modes. Define 3 named states with pre-decided behaviors: build, ship, and refine. In build mode, you only create content that meets the DGE, no formatting, no headline tinkering, no ornament. In ship mode, you run the send ladder, cover note, ask set, calendar block, no content edits. In refine mode, you only address feedback tied to your exit criteria. No, while I'm here, upgrades. Label the mode on top of the dock. The label is a switch for your brain. Narrow scope, lower noise. Next, use if-then plays. Pre-write decisions so triggers route you automatically. If I rewrite a sentence twice, then I insert open, tighten phrasing, and move on. If I touch spacing, then I start the 60-second anchor and paste the ask set. If feedback is taste only, then I ask which decision it affects before changing anything. These aren't suggestions, they are interrupt switches. The moment the trigger happens, the play runs. Add time fences. Give your calendar named blocks with fixed entrance and exit rules. Decision draft, 90 minutes, means you start by pasting the DGE, set 2 timers, 80/20 split, and stop at the bell even if you're mid-sentence. Coherence pass, 15 minutes, means you can adjust transitions and links only. Polish window, 30 minutes, happens post-signal and touches ornament only where evidence warrants. The clock disappears as an argument. The fence decides. Build a macro library. Replace judgment with buttons. 1 text expander for the cover note, 1 for the ask set template, 1 for the review charter, 1 for open, tags, 1 for the decision note. If you always type the same 3 questions, which outcome matters more? What resisted belief? What should we cut? Bind them to a shortcut. Every macro removes 5 seconds and a dollop of doubt. That compounds into a calmer send. Pre-commit file conventions. Name by objective and status, not emotion. Case study v2 decision draft or LP-v4 claim test pass. 2 statuses only draft or pass. No final. Store documents in folders by cycle date, not by project fantasy. When you open the file, the name tells you where you are in the loop, which reduces the urge to invent a new one. Install redline checklists. You already wrote your non-negotiables: no broken links, no factual errors, no privacy leaks. Put them in a 3-item checklist at the top of your template with brackets. Links tested, claims verified, sensitive data scrubbed. You check them in the 10% coherence window. If one fails, you fix it. If not, you ship. You're done hunting for imagined sins. Adopt 2-option defaults. Anywhere choice proliferates, pre-decide 2 defaults. Headlines, always test control versus challenger. Email CTAs, calendar button versus reply. Hero image, people versus product. If you need more, evidence will demand it. Until then, the defaults keep you from wandering down 10 roads that go nowhere. Limit input sources. Decide ahead of time who gets to shape a version category. Decision drafts go to the core stakeholder and 1 user. Polished passes go to 2 more. Internals go to your immediate team only. If an outside comment arrives, you park it unless it maps to your feedback target map. You're not being territorial. You're protecting signal to noise so you can iterate faster. Route feedback with forms. Don't ask, thoughts. Send a short form tied to the learning objective. 3 multiple choice prompts plus 1 optional free text. Example, which claim felt strongest? A, B. What's missing? Choose 1. Cut 1 element. XYZ forms channel critique into choices you can act on, which automates the refine pass. Unstructured comments trigger ruminations. Structured choices trigger moves. Create an end-of-day shutoff. Close every loop with the same 2 actions. Write the decision note, learned, changed, stopped, and leave a next pass line at the top, 3 bullets for the future. Then mark 1 check for cycles shipped. That's it. No scrolling, no one more tweak. The ritual teaches your nervous system the day ends on evidence, not on endless vigilance. For teams, codify these as working agreements. A 1-page, how we ship doc, DGE definitions by artifact, mode rules, red lines, ask set examples, review charter, the cadence, and who sees what when. Review it monthly and refine based on the decision notes you stack. The rules aren't dogma, they're automation that learns. One last frame to cement this: you're not removing thinking, you're removing deciding. Thinking belongs in the build and the learn. Deciding belongs in rules that run when your energy dips. Perfectionism thrives on fresh choices. Cognitive automation starves it by making the right move the only move you see. Feedback Antifragility. Use critique without collapsing. Feedback isn't a verdict. It's a stressor you can train to make the work stronger. Antifragility means impact improves you. So the goal isn't to avoid critique, it's to structure it so every hit adds shape instead of cracking identity. Start by separating self from specimen. When feedback lands, say, they're talking about the draft on the table, not the person in the chair. It sounds corny, but it creates just enough distance for your prefrontal cortex to stay online. Then route the energy into a container you already built, your ask set, exit criteria, and post signal window. You're not bracing, you're channeling. Use the 3 filters to parse any comment in seconds. Objective: does this map to the declared purpose or learning objective? Evidence: is it grounded in data, user behavior, or decision impact? Action: does it imply a clear next move you can test in the refine pass? If a note fails 2 of 3, you park it. If it passes 2, it enters the queue. This stops taste-only feedback from hijacking your loop while still keeping you open to signal. Now the language swap that keeps you antifragile. Replace right-wrong with stronger-weaker for the objective. Ask, did this make the decision faster? Did it change behavior? That phrasing pulls critique out of identity court and into performance lab. It also invites reviewers to think in outcomes, not preferences. Create a short feedback target map before you ship. Who gets to influence which variable? Users influence clarity and usefulness, decision makers influence scope and trade-offs, peers influence coherence. When a finance stakeholder drifts into headline style, thank them and route the note to the right lane. You're not silencing, you're aiming. When a tough comment stings, run the X reframe. Quadrant 1, what's true? Quadrant 2, what's useful? Quadrant 3, what's noise? Quadrant 4, what's next? Write 1 bullet in each. That 90-second sort breaks rumination and forges a single refine action. Treat the sheet like a triage board, not a journal. Install a review charter in your invites, so the room is safer by design. Assess against the stated purpose and DGE. Flag blockers, not tastes. Propose 1 next move or 1 A/B test. Leaders model this. When you receive work, start with the objective in their 80% sheet, name what achieved it, then point to 1 leverage change. Keep the scope tight. If you scatter 5 ideas, you delay learning and encourage porcelain. Your refine pass needs a feedback ladder, 3 rungs you climb in order. Rung 1, fix red line issues, errors, broken paths, violations. Rung 2, implement high signal changes tied to your learning objective. Rung 3, choose 1 experiment to answer the loudest uncertainty. Anything else goes in the parking lot. The latter prevents a flood of edits from turning into a spiral. Here's a quick play for contradictory feedback. Write 2 decision notes on a single page, option A and option B, each with a 1-sentence bet and a tiny test you can run this cycle. You're moving disagreement out of debate and into evidence. People calm down when the test exists, and your work improves because reality becomes the tiebreaker. If feedback arrives late or sideways, don't fight the timing. Acknowledge, log, and reply with your cadence. Noted decision draft locked for this cycle. We'll evaluate this point in Friday's refine window. Cadence is a boundary disguised as process. It protects your nervous system and your schedule without sounding defensive. When a note hits identity, this feels amateur, translate it using the stronger question. For which decision is this weaker? What would make it stronger? If the reviewer can't answer, you've exposed taste. Thank them, park it, and keep moving. If they can, you just turned a sting into a spec. For yourself, build a personal feedback codec. Over time, tag each frequent reviewer. CEO cares about strategic focus, growth, clicks, and conversion, design, coherence, and legibility. Before reading, say, I'm about to hear the growth lens. Framing the lens reduces threat because you expect the angle. Use micro-acknowledgements to keep momentum. Got it, cut section 3, test claim 1. One sentence, one verb. Reviewers feel heard, you feel in motion, and the loop stays taut. Save long debates for the decision note after the test. Make postmortems weightless and fast. After a cycle, write a 2-minute, what made us stronger note, 3 bullets, 1 keep, 1 stop, 1 start. Share it in the same thread as the artifact. That public debrief normalizes learning and sets the tone for the next draft to arrive rough and leave right. 2 last guardrails. Bound the blast radius of critique with preview slices, private beta, cohort caps, so early stress is survivable. And never read raw feedback at night. Put it in your post-signal window, run the long exhale, apply the filters, climb the ladder. You're training your body that critique lives inside structure, not inside you. Remember the mantra, stress plus structure equals strength. If you want your standards to rise, let the work meet controlled stress. If you want your identity to stay steady, let process catch the impact. That's feedback antifragility. Every hit makes the next version harder to break. The shipping rhythm, cadence, seasons, sprints. Let's turn all of this into an operating rhythm you can actually live with. Perfectionism thrives in irregular cycles, long quiet buildups, frantic polish, then a crash. We'll replace that with a steady cadence, seasonal focus, and short sprints that make shipping predictable, not heroic. Start with cadence. Pick a repeatable interval that forces scope to fit time. Weekly or bi-weekly works for most teams. Solo creators often like Tuesday, Friday. The rule: at least one decision draft ships each interval, framed by a clear learning objective and your ask set. When time is fixed, scope must flex, which starves perfectionism of its favorite fuel, endless room. Anchor the week with 3 moves. Monday, plan the loop. Choose one learning objective, fill an 80% sheet for each artifact, and calendar the post-signal window. Midweek, mid-cycle checkpoint. 15 minutes to verify scope hasn't ballooned and to run an SOS check, scope output signal. Friday, ship and log. Send the decision draft, write a decision note, learned, changed, stopped, and check your cycle's ship tally. The identity you're building is visible right there. Now layer seasons. Your work has themes, launching, deepening, scaling, and your energy has seasons too. Use 4 to 8 week seasons where you emphasize one strategic arc and standardize your cadence around it. A launch season, weekly release of 80% landing pages, ads, and onboarding steps, each with narrow learning objectives. A deepen season, bi-weekly research briefs, UX fixes, and retention experiments. A scale season, process, automation, and hiring loops. Seasons keep the big picture steady, while cadence moves the parts. Give each season a charter, 1 sentence that names the North Star, 2 metrics, and 3 constraints. Example, reduce time to first value from 7 days to 3. Metrics, activation rate and time to first action. Constraints, no net new features, reversible changes only, max 2 concurrent experiments. Constraints sound limiting. They're actually creative rails that prevent ornamental detours. Inside the cadence and season, you'll run sprints. Think of sprints as 2-week containers with a single, concrete learning focus and a scoped backlog of decision drafts that support it. Every sprint starts with a planning hour where you right-size work to fit, not force. Every sprint ends with a review hour where you read the decision notes aloud, roll one learning into the next plan, and archive what you won't pursue. That archive matters. Killing work is progress, too. To keep the rhythm humane, install tempo changes. Add 1 deload week at the end of each season. No net new, only refactors, doc, debt paydown, or creative play. Deload protects standards by preventing fatigue from masquerading as polish. Also add a quiet hour daily during shipping days. Phones outside the room, 1 timer for build, 1 for coherence. You're not grinding, you're protecting signal. If your calendar is chaotic, borrow day theming. For example, Monday plan, Tuesday build, Wednesday build, Thursday ship prep, Friday ship plus learn. Theming reduces decision fatigue and gives your nervous system reliable beats. The body learns when to ramp and when to release. On ship prep day, you run red line checks, write cover notes, and schedule post-signal windows. On ship day, you run the send ladder and no edit cooldown. The week stops ending in a scramble. Common question: what if a stakeholder needs something off cadence? You can handle interrupts with an airlock. The airlock is a small backlog lane that accepts urgent items only if they fit one of your DGE templates and can be shipped inside the current sprint without pushing a planned decision draft. If it doesn't fit, you log it for the next sprint. This is not stonewalling, it's maintaining learning density. For teams, publish a one-pager called Our Shipping Rhythm. It includes your cadence, season charter, sprint length, DGE library, review charter, red lines, and who sees what when. This doc is not a manifesto. It's a metronome. Revisit it at every season change and refine it with what your decision notes repeatedly teach. Add 2 small rituals to keep momentum high. First, the cycle count stand-up. Each person says only one number, cycles shipped this sprint, and 1 sentence about today's decision draft. No status theater, just evidence. Second, the Friday demo. 5 minutes to show 1 decision draft, read the ask set, and invite exactly 3 answers. You're teaching the organization to value loops, not lore. Finally, connect rhythm to rest. Cadence without recovery becomes another grind story that perfectionism exploits. Protect weekends or your chosen rest days with a visible off block. Put an out-of-scope note in your templates. No weekend replies, decisions land Monday. You're not being precious. You're defending the system that defends your standards. Rhythm beats intensity. Cadence beats willpower. Seasons beat scattered effort. Sprints beat sprawling plans. Put these pieces on rails and you'll notice something subtle. Shipping stops feeling like exposure and starts feeling like breathing. You inhale build, you exhale send. Over weeks, quality climbs because contact with reality is regular, decisions are small, and identity updates every Friday. We are the people who ship and learn. High stakes, low panic, running risky projects. Big bets don't need big anxiety. They need small blast radii, tight rails, and fast truth. We're going to take everything you've learned, DGE, 80% deadlines, ask sets, aftercare cards, and scale it to projects where the consequences are real. Compliance, brand reputation, revenue pivots, migrations, public launches. Start by scoping danger, not scope. Write a 1-page risk map before a line of work begins. 4 lines only. What's irreversible? What's reversible? What's visible? What's silent? Irreversible and visible gets micro-tested behind a flag first. Reversible and silent can run with a bigger cohort. You're matching stress to stakes instead of letting fear paint every move as fatal. Next, shrink the blast radius. Use feature flags, cohort caps, allow lists, and pilot labels. Rolling to 5% of traffic in Region A with rollback on error, 3%. That single sentence calms hearts because the floor exists. Pair it with a crisp rollback plan tied to metrics you can see in real time. If it dings, you pull back in seconds, not meetings. That's low panic by design. Create a decision control room for high-risk windows. It's a tiny time box squad with 1 person per lens: product, engineering, legal or compliance, comms. They share 1 dashboard with 3 leading indicators and 1 absolute red line. Everyone knows the call tree and the recovery script. You're not chasing 100 Slack threads. You're reading the same gauges. Run an evidence staircase. Don't jump from lab to world. Step up cleanly. Synthetic tests: right arrow internal dog food, right arrow private beta, right arrow opt-in public pilot, right arrow staged rollout. Each step has a DGE, an ask set, and an exit criteria. The staircase kills perfectionism. Just 1 more pass because the next stair is per-written. Now stage your messaging like your code. Risky projects fail twice, once in execution, once in expectation. Write 3 short comms artifacts early. The why now note for stakeholders, the what might break and how we'll know for the control room, and the if we roll back public line. People panic when silence plus ambiguity collide. Replace both with simple words and a timestamp. For compliance and legal, move them from veto to version. Give counsel a DGE for risk language, not a blank page. We will. State purpose, state data touched, link to policy. We won't. Promise absolute security, bury opt-out, imply medical claims. Then run a 30-minute review window per stair, not a gate that resets the whole thing. The most panicked launches I've seen were really unbounded legal loops. Bound them with Cadence. Install a red team hour. One session where a small group tries to break assumptions, surface reputational edges, and propose safeties. Keep it brisk and concrete. What's the worst headline? What fails under load? Where could the copy be misread? Add 2 mitigations to your plan and stop. Red team isn't doom theater. It's targeted stress that makes standards stronger. The 80% deadline still rules here, you just couple it with guardrails. Your decision drafts are prototypes, runbooks, and comms, each with an 80% sheet and aftercare card. The aftercare card matters most on high stakes. For 7 days, slope is 30 minutes daily on monitoring, 1 weekly retro, and a pause condition at variance X. Responsibility avalanche dissolves when the slope is measured. Consider a dry run. Schedule a fake Friday where you execute the send rituals, flip flags in staging, run the dashboard, and deliver the comms to a sandbox list. Dry runs turn cortisol into choreography. Everyone learns where their cursor goes when the timer starts. On the real day, the body follows the groove you already carved. Use dual clocks, a rollout clock and a freeze clock. Rollout governs staged exposure, 5%, 15%, 50%, 100%, with checks at each step. Freeze protects your window from unrelated changes. No new deploys, no surprise campaigns, no last-minute copy swaps. Panic loves variables. Clocks kill variables. When conflicting feedback hits mid-flight, go to test, not debate. Write option A, option B decision notes with a tiny, same-day A/B and 1 success metric. People relax when reality will decide in hours. If you can't test now, log it into the post-signal window. That's not avoidance. That's Cadence preserving safety. If things wobble, narrate. We saw X at 15%, paused at 20 minutes, rolled back, next step 10 a.m. tomorrow. Clear, boring sentences prevent Slack meltdowns and stakeholder escalation. You're not performing heroics. You're speaking like a pilot, short, true, and timed. Close with a blameless, fast retro inside 48 hours. 3 bullets only. What made us stronger? What will stop? What will start? Publish it with the decision notes and the staircase proof. High-stakes teams earn trust when they show receipts. The message to your nervous system and your org is the same. We take risk in slices, we ship to learn, and we get better on schedule, not in storms. The good enough guarantee. Make it automatic. Perfectionism dies when good enough isn't a feeling, it's a contract. The good enough guarantee is how you codify that contract so shipping becomes automatic and quality still climbs. Think of it as a 3-part autopilot: a promise, a proof, and a path. The promise is simple. If this version meets our DGE, we ship on the 80% deadline. That sentence removes debate. You already defined DGE earlier. Clear promise enables a decision, open tags for deferred depth. The guarantee says you don't renegotiate at T5. If it meets DGE, it goes. The proof is your receipt, a tiny, visible checklist at the top of every artifact. 3 lines: DGE met, red lines passed, ask set attached. When all 3 are checked, the work leaves the nest. It's the opposite of vibes. Anyone on your team can glance and know this ships. The path is what happens next. The aftercare card plus the refine window. You aren't throwing work into the wild. You're staging a predictable catch. That's what makes good enough safe. Your standards move forward on rails. To make this run without friction, you'll install 5 automations. Automation 1, pre-flight templates. Create a single decision draft template with the DGE, red lines, ask set slots, the review charter, and the aftercare card boilerplate. Every version starts here. You're not hunting checklists, you're filling blanks that pull you to the send. Automation 2, the deadline ledger. A shared sheet with 3 columns, artifact, 80% send time, post-signal window. The rule: if it's not on the ledger, it isn't real. The ledger becomes team gravity. People don't argue about ready, they aim at time. Automation 3, the send macro. One shortcut that pastes your cover note, ask set, review charter, and calendar link for the refine slot. The brain doesn't love starting, it loves finishing. A macro gives you 3 finishes in 1 keystroke. Automation 4, the parking lots. 2 lists pinned to your sidebar, ornament after signal and later season ideas. Anything shiny or off-arc goes there. The parking lots are pressure valves. They keep ambition from hijacking the loop while preserving it for when signal says now. Automation 5, the cycle scoreboard. Public, dead simple. It only counts shipped cycles per week. When you look at it Friday and see 4 checks, your identity updates without a pep talk. Good enough becomes who you are, not what you tolerate. Now make it behavioral. Add a personal oath you read before shipping. Today I ship the spike that earns the right to polish the slope. It sounds corny. It works. Your body needs a phrase that links courage to process. Edge cases: if a red line fails at T10, fix it and ship. If a stakeholder requests taste edits at T5, reply with your charter and schedule it for the refine window. If someone says, "This isn't our standard," point to the DGE and the post-signal plan. You're not lowering care, you're moving care to where proof lives. Team level, formalize the guarantee in a one-pager titled, "Good enough equals safe to learn." Include the DGE library by artifact, the red lines, the send macro, the review charter, examples of cover notes, and 4 micro case studies where shipping at 80% beat a month of polishing. Pin it, train on it, praise it in public. One more reinforcement: a monthly audit called the 20. Pick 20 shipped artifacts at random. For each, answer 3 questions in a single sentence. Did it meet DGE? What decision did it enable? What did we improve in the refine pass? You're teaching the organization that good enough produced better work faster than almost perfect. And because we want this to survive rough weeks, give yourself a floor called the 2-minute escape. If you're spiraling, you run, reframe line, long exhale, 1-minute anchor, send macro. 2 minutes, door unlocked. Pair it with a ceiling called the 45 rule. No decision draft can consume more than 45 minutes of coherence and link checks pre-ship. The floor gets you out. The ceiling keeps you honest. Hear how it sounds in the wild. This meets DGE, red lines passed, asks at attached. Aftercare card set to 15 minutes daily for a week. Shipping now, refine window tomorrow at 9. That sentence is your guarantee in motion. Everyone hears it and relaxes, not because it's lax, but because it's law. Make one final tweak, a tiny badge at the bottom of shipped work, good enough guarantee V13. Version your standard like software. When you discover a better DGE line or a sharper red line, bump the version and note the change. Standards don't descend from the sky. They evolve. Versioning proves it. Ship under a promise. Prove it with a receipt. Walk the path you laid. That's how good enough switches from compromise to craft. The lever isn't perfection, it's protected shipping. Define good enough, lock an 80% deadline, and let evidence aim your polish. Your nervous system calms when process holds the weight. Do this now. Open one stalled draft, paste the DGE, check red lines, attach your ask set, and run the send macro. Then block a 30-minute refine window and write 1-line aftercare. Want the advanced sprint system that stacks deep work without spikes? Subscribe and watch the next video. Ship one decision draft today.